Hey everybody, Jake here, and today we're going to take a look at the TWSBI Mini All. You guys know I love TWSBI pens. This is actually my wife's pen, and it's the first time I've had a chance to look at one of TWSBI's smaller pens. I've been very interested in the Mini All, as well as the VAC Mini. So we'll go ahead and take a look, and I'll go over what I like, kind of neutral towards dislike, do a writing sample and a conclusion of this very interesting take on a pocket pen. On to the size comparison. So normally I'll put the pen that I'm actually comparing, other pen sizes to down at the bottom. But I've put this one in the middle because it's a very middle of the road pen. It's kind of somewhere in between a full-size pen and a true pocket pen. Anyway, we have the Kaweco Lilliput and the All Sport here. Then we have the TWSBI Mini All, the Lamy Safari, and the full-size TWSBI 580 All. Here are the uncapped size comparisons. You can see that when the cap's removed, it's still a little bit longer than the Kaweco Sport. Still quite a bit shorter than the Lamy Safari. Now this pen can be used unposted if you have smaller hands. I can kind of use it, but it gets very uncomfortable. However, it is much larger and much more usable than the Kaweco Lilliput down here. Like most pocket pens, however, this pen truly shines when it's posted. This is the size that you're going to be using it in. So you can see the Sport, when posted, comes up to about the length of the 580, the TWSBI. This is actually a little bit longer than those. Not by a ton, but a little bit. It's much thicker than the Kaweco, so it's a very nice size for longer writing sessions, very similar to the Sport. So if you like the Sport a lot, and you want a large ink capacity, but don't want to eyedropper convert it or anything like that, it might be a good choice for you size-wise. Here it is next to my portal gun, set to the last dimension that I ended up coming to, Earth. So you can see here it's significantly larger than your average portal gun. It is, a tiny bit longer than the handle though, so if you can grip the handle of a portal gun, you can use this pen just fine. On to what I like about the pen. The nib and the flow are very, very nice. Now, I have swapped out this nib. I bought this off of a user on Reddit because this particular color is no longer available for purchase. TWSBI does a lot of limited edition color versions. Came with a 1.1mm stub. The flow was not great on that nib. It was a very nice stub though. However, at my wife's request, I swapped it out to a broad. Had to swap out the feed and the nib anyway because when attempting to increase the flow on the stub nib, I ripped and pulled out the nib and the feed, and the fins bent forward a lot, like they were mushed together. TWSBI has very fragile feeds, so always use caution when doing that. So be careful, pulling them out. You can unscrew them just fine. I'll show you that in a bit, but be careful pulling them out. So at her request, I got a broad nib. It writes very smoothly. The flow is nice. Not too wet, not too dry. TWSBI's a little bit drier than some other pens, but this one flows very, very well. Really, really enjoy this nib. The piston and the capacity on this pen are very intriguing for a pocket pen. Most pocket pens don't include piston fillers. Most of them are short, standard international cartridges. Very limited ink capacity. This gets a pretty good ink capacity and has a very nice, smooth piston on there. Just to compare it to the full-size 580, as you can see here, the piston mechanism is a little bit smaller. So they probably could shrink it down a bit on this and increase ink capacity, but I'm not going to go there. But it has about 60% of the actual capacity as the full-size 580, which is pretty impressive in a pocket pen, knowing that it can hold so much ink. Now, it holds a little over a milliliter, 1.17 according to Goulet, which is again, pretty good. Unless you eyedropper convert a Sport. This is an all Sport, don't do it to an aluminum model, but unless you eyedropper convert sport or something, you're really not going to get an ink capacity like that in most pocket pens. So it's nice to have that. The size and weight are very nice. I really like TWSBI's aluminum bodied pens. They balance very well in my hand. I like the weight in the front a little bit, but I really appreciate weight in the back of a pen when I'm writing with it. I expect it to be balanced throughout. That means a lot to me. And you can use this pen unposted, and the balance it's okay. But once you cap it, or post it, you really get the best writing experience that you're gonna get with this pen. I do prefer the standard 580 all that I have in terms of ergonomics, but this is still a very, very nice pen. With the cap on there, I feel that it's just a tiny bit back weighted, probably just because of the metal clip and the finial there, but it's not too bad. I really like this pen. I could see myself using it for long writing sessions, and in comparison to most pocket pens that I've used, it beats out a lot of them in the ergonomics category. The clip on this pen is very nice. It is basically the exact same as the 580 clip, just a little shorter, as with everything on this pen really, but it has a good amount of spring. TWSBI probably makes some of my favorite clips. They're very minimal, they flow very well with the pen, they don't stick out, there's no branding, and they just work very, very well. The build quality on this pen is very nice. Now, if you go back to TWSBI's early days, the 530, 540, you'll see a lot of complaints about cracking and things like that. I think they've really got that down. I have had, let's see, I have two 580s. It's my wife's pen, but technically I have it. My VAC, and then my Eco, and my wife just got an Eco T. So that's like 6. Very, very good build quality. I haven't experienced any issues with any of my TWSBIs. So, which I've, only been buying them for the past 2 years or so, but the build quality on these they're great. They're very sturdy for a plastic pen. The aluminum parts do help a bit to add kind of to the durable feeling, but I haven't had any issues with any of them. The fit and finish are very, very nice, especially in this price range. You really generally don't get that. So I really appreciate the build quality on this. Posting on this pen is amazing. You aren't meant to post the standard 580. You can post the Eco and the VAC, and I believe the Classic as well, but the Eco and the VAC just become a bit unwieldy. Posting on this pen is very, very good though, because it's meant to post. So you have these nice threads. So then you can just screw the cap on, and it screws on very securely. It's not going to come off, and it screws on very smoothly as well because of that O-ring kind of helps cushion it. The threads, certainly you don't really feel them. They're very smooth. TWSBI does a very good job with their threads. And even here it's kind of accented by the O-ring, so it's not so much a step down as it could have been. The threads are wonderful on this, and the posting is some of the best probably the best posting that I've ever used on a pen. It just feels very, very, very nice. This pen can be completely disassembled. TWSBI gives you the tools in the packaging, which I'll go over in just a moment. And you can disassemble this pen, clean it out, add some more silicone grease to it, put it back together, go about your day. Very easy to maintain these pens, and they're meant to last a while. You can pick up more silicone grease just about anywhere, and if you take care of this pen, it can certainly last you a lifetime, I believe. Speaking of disassembly, we'll go ahead and go over to the packaging. Packaging on this pen is very nice, like all TWSBI's. You get this kind of minimalist box. It's held together in these kind of like stockade-looking things. So you just pull off the plastic, and when you lift this up here, this is where you get your tools. So under here you have your wrench, and you have your silicone grease. Those are included with every TWSBI pen. Even your Eco at $28 has those in there, which is very, very nice. This isn't about you, Lilliput. I'm trying to interrupt the video. They're very, very nice The packaging is a little bit cheaper on the Ecos. It's really not bad though. Compared to most pens in that price range, it's incredible. This is not wanting to shut. There we go. But the packaging with all TWSBIs is very nice. The fact that they include those tools. On the Eco, you do get a plastic wrench, but on everything above that, you get a very nice steel wrench. It works very well. I would slightly caution you to be careful with scratching the aluminum, especially, or the plastic. So I generally try to use an Eco wrench when I can because they fit the same and it's not going to damage your stuff. But I digress. It's very nice that they include all that in the packaging, and for this price, the packaging is very, very good. You can swap out the nibs on these pens. So you can purchase a separate nib unit for this pen. TWSBI sells them for all of their pens except for the Eco, which, to be honest, at the price, really, you'd probably just want to buy a new Eco. So this is what they look like. You get the nib. This is for the Mini. It's screwed on. You just unscrew it, and they all come to the clear plastic section. You just put back on your aluminum section. And you can actually attach the body right here. You just screw it on, and it'll hold it and keep the ink from emptying out if you're trying to change the nib in the middle of something important. So all you do, grip right here, twist, and it comes off. Swap out the nib, put in a new nib, whole housing unit, everything. You just swap out your grip, and you're good to go. Super easy. These are at $20, so don't go crazy getting them. But it's very nice. Like, I've ruined the feed on the one I just showed you. I did straighten it back out, but it still didn't work very well. But for $20, I can repair that. I don't have to buy another $60 pen. So that's amazing. It really is. The price on this pen is fantastic. I love TWSBI's pens. I think the pricing is freaking spot on, and it will keep me coming back to them. They're just cheap enough to where I can bother to get the colors that I really enjoy and not feel too guilty about it. The standard 580 Mini in all plastic is $50. These are $60. For a piston filling pocket pen made out of aluminum of this quality, that's a freaking steal of a price. On to the neutral. There's really only one thing. The acrylic on this pen, plastic, whatever it is, it can be more brittle than other pocket pens. Now, if you go with the Kaweco Classic Sport or Sport Skyline, they're going to be plastic as well, but they don't... I feel more worried about this one, like it might crack a little bit more easily. The aluminum parts help, but this isn't going to be a pen you want to toss in the pocket with your keys or, you know, loose change or anything like that. It's not going to stand up compared to, say, an All Sport, which is entirely made out of aluminum, or the Lilliput here, which is made out of copper. This thing stays in my pocket with an aluminum wallet and gets beat all to crap, but it writes very, very well still. So they really hold up. So if you're looking for something extra durable, this might not be the one for you. Just keep that in mind. There's only really one thing that I dislike about this pen, and I dislike it about most of TWSBI's lines. They don't freaking color match the inner caps. On my smoke colored vacuum filler, the TWSBI X700R, it's a clear inner cap. On my Mini All, or my Mini All, and my 580 All, both of them, they have a smoke inner cap. So you can see that there. It's really annoying. You could pull out these inner caps, but you really kind of have to keep it in there. And it's very, 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 very stupid that the rest of this pen is perfectly clear, and then you have that ridiculous inner cap. It just really, really deducts from the overall aesthetic of the pen. On to the writing sample. So again, this is the TWSBI Mini AL, or All. And this is the blue, if you're curious. TWSBI has a lot of limited edition colors. They're very nice. This is a broad nib. It is steel. I would pay a ridiculous amount of money for a gold nib TWSBI. If you're listening, TWSBI, please, I don't know why you don't have one. Please make it. I know I can swap them out on my own, but some people don't want to do that. I want to buy one from you guys. The ink is Noodlers. I have no idea how to pronounce this. I'm going to try my best. Gruen. Cactus. I can't stand this color in this pen. I like to match my inks. My wife doesn't care, and she likes to torture me when it comes to stuff like this, so she'll let this slide. The nib's very, very smooth. Just the tiniest hint of feedback on these. Again, these are somewhat drier nibs than you'll get on, most Western pens. Going to do line with no pressure, reverse writing line, a line with a little pressure. I did actually use the stub nib on this in my Rhodia paper review. If you want to go check that out and just see that nib, it's using the exact same ink, so you can tell pretty easily what it is. This pen writes very, very well, especially with this broad nib. Should you buy this pen? Try it? Pass? I'd say buy it if you are looking for a smaller pen that isn't quite as durable or doesn't need to be as durable as an entirely metal pen. If you want a small pen with very, very good ink capacity, go ahead and get this. It doesn't write nearly as well as the Pilot E95S. That pen is just insanely smooth. That nib is probably the best nib I've ever used. No, it is the best nib I've ever used in my entire life. But the ink capacity on there is trash. This has really good ink capacity. Does it write like that? No. Does it write very well? Yes. And it's also half the price. So I say buy it. I love this pen. I personally won't be getting another one unless they do it in just some crazy color that I love. I prefer the normal 580s, but I'll probably pick up a Vac Mini just to see. It's a little bit larger. I really like vacuum fillers. We'll see. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to check out my other videos. I do apologize for the delay on some stuff. This last few weeks has been very busy. I'm about to be moving, pen show coming up, just a lot of life things. So I'm trying to catch back up. For all of you on Patreon, I will be putting out another video a week early. I know I fell behind. None of you are subscribed yet. It doesn't really matter, I guess, but I try to keep up in case somebody does. But keep an eye out for upcoming videos. I'll still keep an ink going every week. The pen reviews are going to kind of slow down, but I'm going to try to keep the pace up. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to check out my other stuff. Have a good day.